Parham. Today I'm going to show you some of my must-haves to start eating clean and food prepping your food for your family for the week. Now I've gone through this for a couple of years, and these are the things that I found that I need the most and makes the process of cooking food for the family for the week the simplest. My first go-to is my triple crock pot. We got this, I think, at Bed Bath & Beyond. I think they run about $60, $70. And it's actually 3 separate crock pots, so you can make 3 completely different meals at the same time. So this is definitely worth the investment. If you have a big family and you want to make 3 nights worth of meals in one shot, that's definitely the way to go. Also some good Teflon pans. Now we rotate these Teflon pans out pretty frequently because once your Teflon starts to wear, you don't want those toxins to get into your food. So we rotate ours out every couple of months, and the way that we can afford to do this is we buy them at places like Ross or TJ Maxx, or even you can find them at Big Lots. They're probably about $10 a pan, and if you use them for a couple of months, it's so worth it for the easy cleanup of a Teflon pan, and then we just rotate them out as need be. You also want to make sure you have some large cookie sheets, 2 or 3 will work best. We use those to cook kale. We use those to put sweet potatoes or yams on, and we're cooking them in the oven. And we also use those to brown chicken tenders or chicken breasts in the oven that we can use later in the week as well. You want to make sure you have plenty of clean utensils available, and you want to make sure that they're handy for you to reach, so that when you're in the kitchen and you're cooking 2 or 3 different things at one time, you want to make sure your utensils are out and they're ready for you to grab as you need them. You want to make sure you have a good set of measuring spoons and measuring cups. You want to have those out and readily available as well. I also like to use this hand grater for my vegetables. So when I make my veggie turkey meatballs, I use this to grate my zucchini and my squash and my onion so that it's nicely finely shredded, and it's super easy to dice up a bunch or shred up a bunch of vegetables at one time, and it's super easy cleanup. So I used to use a food processor, but having to deal with all those parts in the cleanup of that, I found that this is much easier and quicker when I'm trying to do a bunch of things. So this is super easy to use, super convenient. It just stores right up in a drawer. You also want to make sure you have plenty of clean Tupperware on hand, and you want to have it in varying sizes. We use the Rubbermaid brand of Tupperware because it is the PBA free, so it's the safest to use. And like I said, we have little tiny ones all the way up to big ones that we can put a whole pot of soup in and store for the week. So plenty of clean Tupperware so you can put your cooked food in it and store it in the refrigerator. You also want to make sure you have plenty of spices available as well. We don't like to use any pre-packaged spices. We want to make sure that we have control over what goes on our food. So we don't use anything pre-packaged anymore. The 2 spices that I use the most are garlic powder and ground cumin, because we mostly cook turkey, chicken, and fish, and both of these go very well, and it's a very subtle seasoning for all 3 of those types of meat. And then a couple other spices you want to have around are curry powder, we have turmeric, and we also have some sea salt that we use. Cinnamon's also good if you're making a week's worth of pancakes or some gluten-free waffles for your family. I like to have plenty of cinnamon around for that as well. We also have toasted sesame seed oil and plenty of Bragg's amino acids. The Braggs we use in just about everything. We use it to season our green beans. We throw it in our turkey meatballs. You can throw it on some rice. We don't use soy sauce at all anymore. This is just an all-natural version of a soy sauce seasoning that we use on pretty much everything. Then we also make sure we have 2 cooking sprays. We have coconut oil spray and we have a canola spray. We use this to line pans for turkey meatballs and for chicken or fish. And then we use the coconut oil for anything that we're baking. So when I'm cooking my gluten-free waffles, I spray the waffle maker with this, and it adds a nice coconut sweet flavor to whatever it is that you're baking. You also want to make sure you have plenty of coconut oil. Again, it's a great oil to use for vegetables and for baking. It gives it a nice sweetness to it, and it's a much healthier oil than most that are out there. And then I have plenty of these storage containers as well. And the last thing you want to do is trying to deal with those Ziploc open and closed bags when you're trying to cook a lot of things at one time. So what I do is I put my food items in these. They're super easy to open. It has a pressure lock on it, and then when you push it back down, it seals it so it's airtight and everything stays fresh in it. So I just line up all the things I'm going to need that are in my containers for cooking that day, and I leave them out on the counter. You want to make sure you have plenty of aluminum foil. We line all of our pans that we're baking with aluminum foil so that when we're done cooking, we just pull it up off the cookie sheet and we can toss it out and the cookie sheet's ready to use for something else. And then you want to have plenty of Ziploc bags. So I use 2 different kind of snack bags. I use one that has actual portion linings on it. The only thing that I advise on this one is that you're very honest about where you're filling those portions on the line. Especially if you're on a program where you're trying to lose weight, you want to make sure that you're not cheating yourself by filling this more than it should be filled. We also have plenty of freezer quart bags that we can break up meals and put them in the freezer. I use these to store my gluten-free waffles for the week. You also want to have plenty of snack bags. These are great for proportioning out food for the week and also for proportioning out snacks. So what I can do is I can take my almonds and my blueberries or some crackers and I can kind of proportion them out for a serving size, and then I can just store them in my pantry so that when I'm on the go I can just grab a bag and I know that it's already the proportion that I need it to be for my food plan for that day. And then plenty of the gallon size bags as well. And what I do with this is I take a Sharpie, and whenever I put in here, I put what's inside and I put the date that I cooked it. So that when you're looking in your refrigerator, you'll know exactly how long that food has been prepared and it's sitting in there. And we, for instance, right now have a bag of yams and sweet potatoes. So now we know which bag has the yams and which has the sweet potatoes depending on what it is that we want to have. We also store our cooked turkey bacon in here. So I'll just write turkey bacon on there and then I'll put the date that we cooked it so we know how long that has been in our refrigerator. So like I said, over time I've just found that these items, having them readily available, clean and ready to use when I'm getting ready to do my clean cooking for the week, for our clean eating, and I want to make sure that I have my meal preps ready to go. These are my must-have go-tos. Now, if you'd like to have a list of these items, please email me at dyannparhamfitness@gmail.com. The email address will be below. Please like and share this video, share it with your friends. I know that it seems like food prep should be easy, but it's these trial and error lessons that we learn as we go that I love to share with you so that when you jump in and want to make these healthy changes for your family, you can do it with ease.